right, let's see. I can take this and oh, I could probably use this over here. Okay. Oh, this has to go. Okay, let me put that over here. What else? Oh, hey everybody! It's me, Toily, and happy Sunday to you all. You're about to go live with Sundays with Sid. It's going to be so great. But I have just been here going through everything I own, seeing what I can put on eBay, you know, to make some money. So like, oh, this book, I could put that on eBay. Oh, this framed picture of a jellyfish, I could put that on eBay. Oh, this old action figure from the 80s, that's probably worth a lot of money. And this I can put on eBay.
What are you doing?
I'm going to put you on eBay. What? I'm going to put you on eBay.
Well, you better have a high opening bid.
Okay, get over here. Well, I'm going to keep doing this. You are about to enjoy the incredible Sundays with Sid. Here now is Sid and Kelly. Take it away.
What kind of packaging are you going to use?
I'm going to put you in bubble wrap.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the unusual artistry of Sid Croft.
Oh, we're back. We're back. Hey, thank you, Toily. I hope you sell your junk. The year, I got to tell you something, everybody. First of all, thank you for tuning in. The year is 1972. As I was searching for my very, very first house. And meanwhile, I was living in a for sure haunted house that I was renting. And it was the famous movie star, Lon Chaney. You know, he did all those horror movies. And he was known for the man with 1,000 faces. Do you know what I'm talking about? Pretty creepy character he was. As you all know, I've had the most interesting guests on for the last 3 years, every single week. And today, my guest is the man with 1,000 careers. How about that? And for starters, he's known worldwide by the biker in black, the champion BMX rider. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait. Rick Thorne. Come on down, Rick. I got a lot of questions. And I know that you're a huge fan, so you're going to put me against the wall. Hey, Rick.
Hey,
Rick.
what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Oh, wow. Cool.
Awesome.
I love your hat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like yours too. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, I'm really curious about something because I've read a lot about you, and it always says that you grew up in Bel Air. Is that true?
No, actually, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
Why does it always say Bel Air?
Because I paid him to say that.
Oh, yeah. You did, because I thought, wow, if this kid grew up in Bel Air, then his parents are going to want him to be a banker, not a BMX rider.
Yeah, I figured it sounded cooler, like the biker from Bel Air. It's got a ring to it, you know?
Oh, yeah, of course. And they immediately think this kid, you know,
Has money.
oh my God, he's rich. Yeah.
Well, actually, I moved there years ago when I first moved up from Orange County to LA, and that's where I ended up. And then so I guess that kind of stuck for a little bit. Or I guess it still does. Cool. Yeah, I'm Rick Thorne from Bel Air.
Hey, Rick, you know, I know in 19, yeah, no, in 96, yeah, you were in the closing ceremonies of the Olympics, right? You,
Yeah, man, that was a crazy year. That was when, that was right when all of the action sports stuff was kind of coming to like, you know, a lot of attention on the mainstream, and they had 8 bikers, 8 skaters, and 8 inline skaters, and we did this whole choreographed show at the stadium in Atlanta. It was awesome. Yeah.
wow, that was Kenny Ortega, right?
Yeah,
That
you know him? You
directed
know
that.
him? Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a great, great friend. As a matter of fact, when he came back after doing the Olympics, which you work on for a whole solid year, he said, "Oh my God, my career. I don't know if I'm forgotten because to
Wow.
be out of out of the Hollywood, ring of famous directors and choreographers, other directors take over sort of. A year is a long time. But then he was immediately offered Michael Jackson tour.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy, right? That's
yeah,
totally,
so
yeah.
he did great. But hey, a BMX rider, how come you're a fan of my stuff? Tell me about that.
Well, I grew up. I grew up in 1969. Isn't that the year Puff and Stuff came out? That same year.
Uh, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
19, yeah,
So
exactly.
I grew
Yeah, but you,
up. I saw your stuff as a kid. I
uh-huh.
grew up because I'm going to be 54 this year. So I always liked the stuff that you did, Land of the Lost and everything. So I remember all that stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but a tough kid like you know, watching Saturday morning,
it's your
you weren't,
shows that made me hard, bro. Made
oh,
me tough.
oh, really?
Yeah.
So that, that's a lot of stress for me,
No, I'm kidding.
telling me that.
No, man, I just grew up, just like any other kid, I guess, in the '70s, watching TV, and you know, uh, that was it, man. Those were the cool shows. That's why, you know,
Well, thank you so
yeah.
much for being a fan. No, that's cool.
And I'm a huge fan of yours, by the way. I have to jump in here because I was born in the 70s and I grew up obviously in the 90s as a teenager.
Oh,
and
wow.
like the 90s was a really interesting time frame because it was right at the dawn of the internet and that sort of thing. But everybody, I feel like if you were sporty in any way, shape, or form, you knew like the top pro surfers, the top pro BMXers, the top pro skaters,
Well, skateboard.
Yeah, like,
Look, I wore my skateboard shirt, Santa Cruz, because I sucked. I was the worst. I could only do one 360. That was it.
That's cool, though.
That was
Hey, that's cool.
just to do one. My
I mean, it's
claim
better
to
than
fame.
none.
Yeah. Oh shit! I used to fall off the board. Oh my God. Yeah.
but how did you get in? How did you get into BMX? Like,
Yeah.
was this something your parents were into? Was this something you found? Like, how did that happen?
No, like when we grew up, I mean, I grew up in a single family, so my mom and she worked nights, and so I just started riding around the hood with my friends, and this is before like, what kids see today is they see like, and parents with their kids, they could say, oh, you can get a future with this, you can make a career, these type of things. But back then, it was just to get out of the house and be hanging out with my friends, and that's really how it all started with me. Is just kind of venting my aggression. In a positive way, I think, when I look back on it, like just trying to get out of my situation, get out of the house as fast as I can. And it's something that made me feel good. And I just kind of stuck with it, through all the roller coasters. And, I rode like maybe about 14 years before I made a salary or a sponsorship that paid me. So I just rode because I loved it. And I just got done riding just now. I just rode the Comedy Store wall. If you don't know, behind the Comedy Store, there's like a transition. I just shot a photo on that thing. But like I ride every day, but that's how I got into it. I just got into like, I don't know, it was just like something made me feel, makes you feel good. So I leaned towards that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be in the X Games. We're going to have these sponsors. I'm going to be doing all this stuff. We didn't know any of that stuff was going to come. Just kind of,
Yeah, but
we were just born at
you
the right
had
time.
tons of sponsors. I mean, they paid you some bucks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I still got a lot of really good sponsors, and it's like, it's how badly do you want to work and how much do you want to work. Um, but a lot of our, when you're speaking like just in the aspect of sports, you're going to make your living off of sponsors or contest results and stuff like that. So if you work more than the others, then, everybody's deals are different. But yeah, you could do good for yourself if you know how to hustle, you know,
How
how to hustle
cool.
your stuff.
You ought
Yeah,
to be on America's Got Talent,
I
you know?
should. I
Yeah.
should. They better not gong me. Remember the Gong Show?
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. Well, that was taken from Major Bose back in the 30s. He was the first one to have that kind of a talent show.
I didn't know that.
And if you sucked, he hit this huge gong,
Did you get the hook?
and you get the hook, or you get the hook.
Wait,
I
what was
mean,
what,
vaudeville.
what was the name of the show?
Uh, uh,
Major Bose.
Major Bose,
I never
Amateur
hear that
Hour.
one.
It was
Okay.
Major Bose Amateur. Well, we used to listen to it on radio, and if they had an act like a BMX rider, you just use your imagination, and there was a live audience screaming, and it would always be in a theater, in a different theater in a different state each week. And yeah,
Have
That's
you ever
awesome.
ridden a BMX bike in a theater?
You mean I just did the other night. I have a band as well, and so my band plays, and sometimes I bring my bike on stage. I played the Fonda Theater before I rode my bike on stage. So I
That's
guess that would count.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
great. See, that's why I say you're the man with 1,000 careers,
Oh
right?
man, I'm
I
trying my
mean,
best.
well, come on. I mean, you did music videos and movies and, 8 times doing the X Games, right?
Yep. Yeah, the first eight. Um, I mean, yeah, one thing just led to another. Look, I learned a long time ago, and I don't know if you can relate to this because your profession, you've always got to like reinvent yourself, right? You always got to come up with new
Of
stuff.
course I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah, you relate to that. So like, you could run your course, like let's say, all right, I'm a pro bike rider, and you're new on the scene, and you're killing it in the contest, and you're the flavor of the month, right? And that'll run its course, and then the second that you don't win anymore, then where's your value, right? So if you
Yeah.
put all your value into the contest only, then the second you ain't winning, then your value's depreciating. And so I knew that. I competed 25 years straight though. But for me, I was lucky to get into like hosting with TV, and then that led to film and led to radio and all these things because of my personality. So I was able to react on that and reinvent myself, but still be able to ride. Does that make sense?
Are you kidding? The first show, of course, was the Banana Splits. That wasn't our show. We just did the costumes, and
Right.
we created those characters for Hanna-Barbera. But after, and the fans have heard this before, well, you're going to have to hear it again. After we shot the first episode of Puffin Stuff before it was released on television, I was crapping in my pants because same thing. You don't know how the public is going, especially kids. It was so psychedelic and it was so bizarre,
Right.
and I know that you have said many times, that you're the weird. Weird is great. I thought
Yeah.
I was the king of weird, and because I work with so many creative people, and of course I can use that word weird as because if you're dealing with people that are way out there,
Yeah.
their minds are way out there. But to get back to Puffin stuff, if that didn't work, Rick, then we wouldn't get the opportunity to go further. We ended up 26 shows. Overnight, it was like a big smash because no one ever saw anything as weird as that. And the college kids used to get up, I guess, and smoke a joint on Saturday morning. We'd get more mail from college kids than we did from kids. Over 10,000 letters a week. We didn't know what the hell to do with all that, and it just blew everybody's mind. And it's all about timing too, Rick, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
also too, you get like, okay, so let's say Puffin stuff blew up. You're like, all right, cool. And then you feel it's running its course. And a friend of, like, oh, what's next? What's next? I want to stay in this game. What's next? And I think it's the same. I don't know. Did you ever feel that way? Because that's how I felt.
I was responsible, Rick, to come up with the next thing. And, every year, all three networks were reaching out to us and said, what's next?
Yeah.
And holy, it's not simple to come up with a concept. There were 2 years before Land of the Lost that I went totally dry because the first 5 shows I created. The rest, we bought from Ruby and Spears and then I did 2 others that I created, Horror Hotel and Dr. Shrinker,
Yeah.
with Billy Barty. But
Awesome.
it's a crazy business we're in,
It is. And that's what I tell, like, some of my friends that, like, maybe been in the game for 25 years, like, at the time when I was competing, and they're still hanging on to that, the results to be different from what you're doing. And like, it's like insanity to a sense. It reaches a point where you're like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, and that's what competing got with me, at least, is that like, okay, I need to lean in the band. I got to go to acting school. I got into this TV hosting. I got to build on that. So I've always looked at everything as kind of been like building blocks. Like, I don't think one's better than the other. It's not like, oh, okay, I rode bikes, I'm done with that, now I'm a TV host. Nah, I'm done with that, now I'm an actor. It's like, no, they're all still like to do them all.
No,
they all kind of bounce off of each other. Yeah.
No, you have to hold on to all of them. Yeah. But you said you went to acting school. That is so incredible because it pulls open all these walls. You have to get up in front of your class, and you expose things that you never knew was inside of you. And no, it's amazing to take acting classes. And cold reading is the most important, because when you get a call, you better go in and cut it right away, and especially today, they put you on tape, and you don't know where the hell it's going.
Yeah,
but when
it helps with so much stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I was lucky to get in the first film I did. I used to do this TV show for ESPN. I hosted it. It was called X Today, and it was the action sports show. I did it for like 5 years, and I think it was like the year 2000 maybe, or 2001. X Games was in Philadelphia, and they're like, "You're going to interview this guy Vin Diesel," and I was like, "I don't know. I didn't know who he was. Maybe it's like new on the scene, but I maybe heard him. I kind of knew." And so, and then I saw him. Like, oh, I know this guy, and I know it sounds funny, but I didn't know. And he's like, "I like you. I'm going to put you on the film we're doing," because what he did is he came to the X Games to see how his X culture dudes are, and that's what he was doing for Triple X. So then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to put you in Triple X," and that's how I got in that movie. So then that was like, oh, wow, this is a lot different than hosting, and that's when I got into school, because sometimes people think like, I don't know, do you think this way? Like, some people think like, oh, I'm a bike rider, so therefore I could be a good actor. It's like, not necessarily. You have to learn some things, So for me, do you feel that way? Do you think you're good at one thing? Do you think you got to learn
my God,
another way?
Because come on, Rick, I mean, I was in vaudeville, burlesque, I was a performer for 29 years, and all those things. It's like it's a big snowball that just gets bigger and bigger, and you got to be on your toes and be as creative as you can. And like you said earlier, you just can't be stale and
No.
just do one thing, because it's not going to be a career, but one thing opens up another,
Yes.
you know, my God, I never thought I was capable of doing all the things that we did. I mean, what was your favorite show? You must have some questions about. Was I on acid? Yeah, ask me something.
Were you out of your mind, bro? Because I know you still are, bro.
I told you, I'm the king of way out there. It seemed like I was way before my time, because I started as a puppet act. A puppet act. I mean, that's for little kids in the backyard. And I became, famous doing that.
But wait,
I
were
was
you
famous.
in the circus? Didn't you join the circus?
Yeah, the ring in the freak show. So give me a break.
Yeah. You've been in the trenches, bro.
You know it over and over again. I cannot figure out why I'm still alive. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be 94 years old.
What?
Still have my mind,
That's questionable.
Yeah.
That's questionable.
Wait, the question is, did he ever have it? That's the question.
Well, I will say to what you were asking about learning, having to learn new things and not really being good at something. It's one of those things that Sid's actually learning right now, which is a lot of people think because he was a producer and he came up with these creative ideas that he drew them. And we'll go to like conventions and stuff and people be like, can you draw on this? And he'll be like, I can't move a pencil, but now he's learning slowly, like how to paint, how to do these things. So it's a process. Cool.
I never knew it's like acting. I never knew it was in me, because I would sit with all these artists. We employed 25 or 26 artists in our show business factory, and I used to push their pencil. I know how to do that. I know what I want. But then Kelly said, no, you sit down and see, I want you to paint a sleeve stack. I said, you're out of your mind. I can't even make a circle. Even my lines are crooked. It's like.
But it's exactly what you said. Like, yeah, just because you know how to do one thing doesn't mean you know how to do everything. And even at Sid's age, he's still learning. He's still doing new things. Yeah, you have to reinvent yourself. Is there something, right? I see that you go and do like the punk rock karaoke, right? How long have you been doing that for?
Well, hold that thought for a second. What I want to say this is that anyone out there, and to all of us as well, I wouldn't say the hardest part, but I'll say it like that. The hardest part is starting. Once you start, you're like, and you're involved with something and you're engaged with something, then you're like, you build on it. It's like, it's that, oh, I don't know, I've never done that before. Once you get past that, then it's like, oh, okay, I did a circle. Now I'm doing 2 circles. Now I'm drawing this. Now I'm doing portraits. Now I'm doing that. And it's like, once you get involved, it's just starting. That's what I tell people all the time. They're like, like you said earlier, how'd you get into bikes? I just started riding, or how'd you get into music? Just pick up a mic and get a pen and pad and start writing. And it's getting past that, I think. So anyways, I can relate to where you're at with the drawing and the painting.
And Rick, what you just said, every single person out there is so creative.
Yep.
You just have to use it, and not be afraid, put your foot forward. And I keep telling everybody, go left, because everybody goes right. They follow the leader. Don't do that, and don't let anybody talk you out of, a dream.
No.
Because, hey, I didn't come from Bel Air.
I did though.
Yeah, well, shit, you're loaded. I came from the poorest family, and I mean, come on, where did I get all that information from? Just, listening and, you know, paying attention to almost everybody. I'm so fascinated with everybody's life, you know,
Yeah.
and
Well, when you, I'll tell you this much, when you, at least what I've learned for myself, like when you're predictable, you're boring. And in the industry of like, you
yeah.
know, being creative, and if I look at someone's Instagram, I can tell that person I already know what it's going to be. And then you go, and we're just speaking of Instagram. Instagram isn't the be all end all of everything. It's just an example. Okay. And you could be like, oh, your feed on your Instagram, it's the same thing it was last time, which was last time, which is last time. And it's cool, but it doesn't leave an impact. And as an artist, and to reinvent yourself all the time, you want to leave an impact. You want people to talk about you, to stay in the game. You want to, that's the business we're in. You want to create things where people, you're relevant, and you're not like, you know, you don't want to fade away, unless you do want to fade away. Me, I don't. So I always want to just do different things. So for me, at least, I find that like if you're predictable, you could be boring, and that loses people's attention on you, and then therefore you know, you start to lose your value of like what your work is worth, I guess, you know.
Oh, it's great. What's next for you? I mean, come on, we
Music.
never stop.
Well, music and comedy. Like I just played. You asked me about Kelly. It's Kelly, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You asked me about punk rock karaoke, and yeah, I played with those guys the other night. But my band opened up for them. So my band is called Good Guys in Black, and we're a punk band.
Oh, cool! I love them.
How long have you guys been together?
About 10, 11 years or so.
Wow.
And we toured like Warped Tour, did tours through Europe, did a lot of other, you know, been with bands like Pennywise and Strung Out, like a lot of punk bands. And so the next big show we're playing is in Orange County, and it's called Punk in the Park, which is like a 2-day festival. It's going to be awesome.
And what do you play? Are you the lead singer?
I sing.
Yeah.
I sing, I scream, and I jump around, and I cut myself. Because, see, I only know one other Sid, and it's Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious. That's what everybody calls me.
So I'm a combination of you and Sid.
And Sid Vicious. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. No, I like that name.
Did you grow up listening to punk too?
What?
His Wi-Fi. Hold on a second.
You froze.
That's okay. He'll come back.
He will?
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
What'd you say?
Okay.
Did you grow up listening to punk too?
Yeah, because like, you know, when you said something earlier about like in the 90s, is when punk rock and hip hop and all action sports and everything just kind of came into the mainstream. But we'd already been heavily with it all these years. And it was a ride. It was an awesome ride. But like growing up, that fed into my writing, you know, like I would look for music, because I think there's different types of punk rock from back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, like F the world punk rock, or like I'm gonna get drunk and be stupid punk rock. I was more about the like, I want a better way punk rock. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know. And so that fed into what I was trying to do with writing. So the music was a huge factor for writing and being, you know, we're in a self-motivated sport, so music would always be like inspire you and, you know, pick you up, that kind of thing. So
yeah, we had Scott Shiflett on our show like 2 years ago. Awesome. And I told him, I said, I'm a huge fan. I said, Face to Face was like huge for me. And he's like, that's so funny, because in the beginning I thought you were talking about my brother who's in a different band and I was like, no, you, because punk was huge in the 90s. And I remember people saying to me, you know, when a band that was very underground, because I grew up in a small town, so we would get these like underground punk bands that would come through in the Midwest. Right. And it was huge for us, right? Yep. And then somebody would say, oh my God, they sold out. And all I think is, well, isn't that kind of the goal? Don't we want to kind of sell? Don't you want to make money doing what you love?
I mean, that's the key. I mean, but most people though, like, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, but I think a lot of people don't really find or have the balls to go for what they want to do. And so they like, maybe they think a job is something that you're supposed to do, that you just get paid little at, and that you just do it. Like, and when people feel weird when they get paid doing something they love to do. And so when you get, some people might. And so when people that dreamed about doing something you're doing, it's just cheap talk. It's just like, they say you sold out, but the reality is they wish it was them. I mean, maybe like compared to the job or the dreams, you know, like if I dreamed of being a big rock star, I'd be like, that dude sold out. It's like, because I probably dreamed of that, and it didn't happen for me. So I'll just knock it down for you. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what that means, is to sell out. I think if you take an opportunity. Okay, here's an example. When I first started working for ESPN, they said, we want you to come up on inline skates. We want you to wear a blue denim ESPN shirt and hold a microphone. And I said, okay, I'm the biker in black. I wear all black. I'm going to be on my bike and I want a lavalier. And they go, all right. So I looked at it, I was like, I'm going on TV. Doesn't mean I'm selling out. I'm going to hold on to my integrity and present this of what I am. And they allowed me to do that. So, I mean, I guess if I would have wore the denim shirt, I might have been a sellout, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Yeah, no, it's great what you just said. You know what I just thought about? Oh, God, it slipped my mind. Madison Square Garden decided that they were going to produce their own shows. And so they approached us. And I immediately, worked on something. It didn't happen, but it was called the Olympian Follies. And in the middle of the Madison Square Garden, there was a structure that I designed, and it was crystal. And it went all the way up to the ceiling, almost to the ceiling of Madison Square Garden. And it had ramps, and it had water. And what the show was, it was like all the winter and summer athletes, and in this crystal structure. And God, it should have happened, but I can't remember his name. The gentleman that owned Madison Square Garden, he passed away because they were really taking a real strong look at it. We were going to have an opening, ceremony and a closing, and it was called the Olympian because it can't be called the Olympics.
No.
Because you can't use that. And
well, what year was this going to happen?
It was in the 70s, and maybe 75 or something like that. And wow, I was so proud of that presentation, which I still have, So maybe someday it'll happen.
I think so. Hey, you know what? It might. You never know. And if you need any bike riders out there, you let me know.
Well, it had BMX, and skate and all everything in it, and divers because it had water at the bottom. It was just amazing, and even snow. So we could have skiers, and no, it would have been awesome.
It still would be. People love it.
Yeah. So, see, you just got to have your mind going all the time. It's like a movie studio. They do 20 movies a year, and they just hope that one of them sticks to the wall. And so,
can I ask you something? A friend of mine told me this a long, long, long time ago when we were on tour. You might have heard of him. His name's Spike Jonze. You know Spike Jonze?
Of course.
Okay.
The director.
Yeah. Well, see, Spike grew up riding BMX, and then he was the main photographer of BMX, and so in the like late 80s, early 90s is when I knew him most in the bike world, and we would tour and stuff. We'd do this like little road trips and stuff. And I remember one time he told me, he's like, yo, check it out, dude. It's a tricky business. You got to enjoy what you're doing, but realize it's going to end. So you're always planning for something else, but you still got to train yourself to live in the moment, to enjoy your project now, but know that's going to end. And so and I've spent my whole life like that. So I've been trying to enjoy what you're doing, but this tour is going to end, or this show is going to end. What's after this show? Have you ever had that problem, that balance?
Of course, all the time. Yeah, because I've done so many things, movies, television. We had our own park in Atlanta.
That's right.
Yeah, the world of Sid and Marty Krofft. So, so many things. It seems like everything there is to do in show business. I worked for a company called Magic Leap. I went into technology, which I knew nothing about, but you learn. And for someone to offer you jobs like that, it's awesome. And it's like I said earlier, it's a snowball, and it
Yeah.
just gets bigger and bigger. I have a tree house and 30 feet in a eucalyptus tree.
I think I
And the
saw.
reason,
Wait, I saw that on your Instagram
yeah,
before. I think. Yeah, yeah.
and the reason I built it, because it's my career, one step at a time to get up to the top,
There you
you
go.
know. And I still feel with all the stuff that I've done in my career, I haven't reached the top yet,
Oh man, I can agree. I can agree with you. You never feel satisfied, right?
No, I'm
That,
working on
that's
it.
why you're still here doing it, man. I'm telling you.
I'm working on it right now. I'm working with David Copperfield on something that's just so amazing. I
Awesome.
mean, what a way to end your career, and it's going to happen,
Yeah. I mean, I can relate to you. I saw this documentary a long time ago about this famous sushi chef. I forgot the name of the documentary. Someone out there probably knows what I'm talking about. And he's talking about the top of what? There's no such thing.
No.
And that stuck with me. It's like, he's right. Because we'd always say that. Like, okay, I went 10 feet. I can go 11. I go 11. I go 12. I go 12. I go 13.
Mm.
You know what I mean? There's no, and it's like, do you feel that way too? Like the top of what? Like, oh, I'm sitting on the top of it all. It's like, oh, I've never ever felt that in my life, ever.
Last week I had Frankie Loyal on,
Yeah.
who's a great friend of yours. So this is amazing, really amazing, because from a biker to a biker,
Yeah.
And I'm a skateboarder.
Yeah. Awesome.
Who sucked? Every sport I tried, I was the worst. But I'll try again. Even at my age, you just keep trying and you get better and better.
I have a weird question for you.
It's
Okay.
weird.
Yes. How old do you feel?
Why?
That's awesome question. Okay, so you're a punk rocker fan. You know Minor Threat?
Yes.
It's not how old I am, it's how old I feel. We're just a minor threat. We're just a minor threat. Let's put it this way. I've had like my face peeled off. I got scar across the top of my head.
Wow.
But my face peeled off. I've had my teeth. Hey. I've had my shoulders.
Holy shit.
I tore my urethra before. I'm getting to answer your question. I'm doing a long version though, because that's how I usually do things.
That's okay.
Knees, shoulders, this, that, the other. I mean, I can go down the list. I had a hematoma in my taint once.
Oh.
Imagine that.
Oh shit.
I take any pain. I'm never in pain. And like my mind, I'm always thinking about writing or expressing or singing, or like I do comedy as well. So I'm always expressing myself through comedy and stand up. I've been doing that for like 5 years. So to answer your question, I feel like, not that I'm in a bubble by any means, but I just feel like I don't know what old feels like, because I don't feel old. Like people go, oh, does your body hurt? And like, not really. It doesn't though. I feel like, you know what I mean? So if I was to say how old do I feel, I don't know. I wouldn't say like 10 years old or something, but I don't know. I feel like I'm still in my 20s. That's what I feel like.
Shit, I don't realize you're talking to me. Nobody's older than me. I mean, nobody.
The only thing older than you is the dirt, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, oh my God, when I hear that, and don't ever retire, ever. I don't care how much money you have, if you met a rich woman that's going to support you the rest of your life and live in Bel Air.
Lady Gaga just called me. Hold on a second. Can I call you back? I'm talking to Sid.
Sid who? She asked you.
I clicked.
Sid who?
No, she's just trying to bite ideas. I clicked.
Oh, you clicked out. Lady Gaga, she has had a recording studio on my street. So I used to see her. I never met her or talked to her.
Yeah,
I
she's
didn't
talented.
want
She's talented.
I didn't want
She's,
to stalk her.
Yeah.
You know.
He didn't want to, but he did. It's totally
Sid
an
after
accident.
Lady Gaga on the next TMZ.
So what's next?
Well, this week I'm doing a show in Long Beach on Wednesday, a comedy show, and then Saturday my band plays in Hemet. So it's pretty cool. It's like I've been able to book, like, things are really starting to pick up more. But you know what's crazy is that, like, I've been consistent with all of this stuff and been able to raise 2 kids on my own along the way.
Oh,
and it's
cool.
Yeah, now that my kids are older, I'm going to be able to tour again, which I haven't been able to do in quite a very long time. So I'm positioning myself that way. You know, I didn't want to miss anything with my kids. And so now that my son's going to be 15 and my daughter's going to be 17, you know, I'm able to, like, go out and do something, even if it's for a weekend. I couldn't do that for years because I have no family out here. And I have my kids about 80 to 90% of the time for, like, the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So now, like, I feel really, like, sometimes I feel like I got too much time on my hands. Like, oh, shit, what am I going to do?
Are you funny? That's what I want to know. Hey, on stage, when you do your act, you don't show us, take your teeth out and shit like that, do you?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
What else do you show them?
Oh God, what are you doing, Sid?
Well, I show them my ankles. No, I'm kidding. I show them my teeth,
God.
and I show them how to bite an apple, and that's about it. But yeah, you know, this is a problem. I gotta use it. You know what I mean? I use it. It's part of my act. Yeah, of course.
Like corn on the cob too. And
there you go. Yeah, that's a hard one to do.
Hey, Rick, you know, we've been on, wow, almost an hour here. Awesome. It's terrific.
So are you LA local?
I am.
Bel Air, what are you talking about?
Boom. Yeah, I'm from Bel Air to Beverly Hills. Boom. Poor me. Hey, I'm a poor ass kid from Missouri. Someone said that to me and they're like, wait, Gaga goes for older men. Sid should go for it. That's what someone just commented. Hey, you guys can have a baby and call it Goo Goo Gaga.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, the only person I knew that lived in Bel Air in this huge mansion was Jim Neighbors.
Oh, cow. Holy cow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And so, and now I know you. So, yeah. Wow.
Well, I live on a little shack. It's a guest house.
You do?
It's termite infested. No,
I'm
kidding.
Are they all in LA? Aren't they all?
In that area, I tell you. No, but yeah, I mean, you know, hey, I'm a kid from Missouri. Just follow my dreams. Why not? Life's too short. That's what I tell people, you know what I mean? I know we'll probably end this pretty soon. If you want, we can go forever, but I'll just say this real quick. Follow your dreams, dude. Live your life, you know, like you said earlier. It's like getting a tattoo. I'll say, hey, man, I'm getting a tattoo. And somebody like, what are you getting? And you go, I'm getting the word determined on my arm right here. Determined. Oh, wait, no, it's this one.
Wow, cool. Oh. Wow.
Uh-oh, we lost you. There you are.
And people are like, that's so stupid. You're going to get the word determined. And then I'm like, yeah, whatever, bozo. And then you get it. And then the same person will go, oh, dude, I know this one guy. He's got a badass tattoo. Just determined. That's how people are. They got their foot in the water, the little toe, and then once everyone jumps in, they jump in with them. It's kind of how it works. Like, just be you, do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Just like, you know, as long as it's positive, Sid, as long as it's positive.
Ditto. Yeah.
Yeah, I will tell you what you just said is exactly something we just talked about last week in my house. My cousin, who's an adult, because we're all adults, but not really, and we don't feel like it. And we were at Universal, and they have that water area in the middle, right?
Yep.
And everybody stands around, and maybe 1 2-year-old is piddling in the water, right?
Yep.
And my cousin, as an adult, went running through it. And he said, as soon as he went running through it, all the adults went running through it.
Exactly. And that's what it's like. It's like that with music. It's like that with, you know, I mean, sometimes the media tries to tell you what you're supposed to like, you know, because a lot of people are consumed with like relationships and jobs maybe and stuff that they're not really like happy with. And so they just kind of want to be told, directed on like what to like and what to watch, whatever. You know what I mean? But I think for the most part, people are like that. Like they'll be like, I don't know, and then if it becomes like the thing to like, then oh, I'm supposed to like it. It's like, and what I mean by saying all of that is just like, don't be afraid to express yourself in a way that's like, you know, not be hateful or not like that, but like express yourself artistically in the way that you want to be, because life's just too damn short, dude. And like, I mean, you know, you'll regret it if you don't, because you're afraid of like what somebody might have thought about you. I don't know. It's like, it's not worth it to me. I'd rather take the risk. I mean, you know, and once you get past, and it's like what we said earlier, you know, once you start something, it gets easier. Well, once you learn to accept criticism, it gets easier too. It's like, you can't win for losing a lot of times with people. People are going to love you when you win or hate you when you lose, or like, it doesn't matter really. You know what I'm saying? Am I making
That's
any
right.
sense?
Hey, Rick, thank you so much. This was so cool. And I'm sure everybody out there just had the best time, because listening to what you had to say had so much value for everybody out there, you know?
Well, you're a huge inspiration.
Well,
I'll tell you right now.
you.
I look up to you. You're a badass. I want to be like you when I want to be like you when I grow up, dude.
And I want to be like you when I grow up. I don't have any tattoos yet, but I'm thinking about it.
Right on the neck, Sid. Sid. Right here.
Oh, right. What about the turkey neck? That would
You
be
can do
good.
the puffin stuff on this side.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that would be cool.
Okay.
We
Go
can
out
get
big,
tattoos
Sid.
together.
If you can do it. I know some people. They'll do it for you, bro. Just let me know. Give me a call.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Rick, so much for coming on, and good luck with all your trips that you're on.
And how can people find out where you're going to be next?
Yeah.
Well, mostly, I'm mostly on Instagram the most. I got Facebook too, but just it's at Rick Thorne. I seem to post the most on Instagram. I have the Twitter and all that stuff too. But yeah, just or my website, rickthorne.tv. So I'm all over the place. But I appreciate you. Much love, and thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for sticking with us every week. It means a lot to me, you know. I wanted you all to hear my stories about my life, because maybe you can use something, you know, that we talk about for your own journey. And I'll see you next week, and to be continued. And everybody that's waiting for one of my great paintings that I'm going to sign, they're coming. So don't be nervous about it. I'm working on it. Okay. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Thanks, Rick.
Hey,
Thank you so much,
Bye,
Rick.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.